Hi, I'm Ken Jr. and welcome to Train World TV. Here you'll find the latest and greatest in model trains. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to our channel, we're glad you're here, and I invite you to click the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a video. Now, we'd also love to send you exclusive deals and special announcements that you won't find anywhere else. So be sure to sign up for our emails, TW Text, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Now, you can find all the links in the description box below or trainworld.com. And without further ado, enjoy today's video. All right, and welcome to Train World TV, everybody, for another Thomas Tuesday put together by Christian. How you doing, Christian?
I'm well, Ken. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. I know the school year just started up for many of us, in high school, college, just in general. I mean, I'm just super, super stoked, as always, to be back for another Thomas Tuesday event on the first Tuesday of every month.
That's right. And we have so many people out there excited for this event. Here we go. Yo. Hi. Let's go, Matt. So they're even concerned about Doug. Where's Doug? Don't worry, Doug will be here. So let's go, Ken. Thank you for all the kind words. We love Matt, and we didn't even introduce Matt yet. So, Christian, why don't you introduce, I guess, our first guest lined up for tonight?
Absolutely. So, Matt, as many people know as Lego Master 365, is another fellow Thomas modeler. Very, very inspiring modeler throughout the fandom. He was at Edison. He's part of Thomas and his fans, the whole group, along with George and Tom, who are part of last month's event, for those who tuned in. And he's just got a whole bunch of models to show off, including characters like classics, including Gordon and then Stepney. And it's just incredible, again, as always, to see that every single Thomas fan has their own unique twist to these models. And you'll see that Matt is absolutely no exception. His model work is exceptional. So
yeah, and just to chime in before we let Matt go, so both Christian and I dropped by the train show, and I saw Matt's collection, and he presented himself very well, and so I'm really excited for him to show you his collection, what he has in stored, and I think it's going to be really nice, and I'm excited for tonight. So I think Christian has got another good one lined up. And before Matt goes, don't worry. We're already seeing the comments. Doug will be on later today, and from what I'm told by Christian, it's going to be another groundbreaking event. So stay tuned. And while Matt goes, I'm also going to try to whip something up here. Maybe I could get another raffle going. So if you guys want to see a raffle, put it in the chat, and I'll try to dig something up. But Matt, please introduce yourself, and let's see what you got.
Thank you guys for the very heartfelt introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt, otherwise known as Lego Master 365 on YouTube, everywhere. So I have model trains to display. So I will be covering until Doug can get here. So I don't
wait.
Else. Oh.
Time out. But before you show your stuff, how'd you get into trains, and how'd you get into Thomas and all that good stuff?
Good question. So I will answer that. So my brother is 3 years older than me, and he had like a few of like the wooden railway trains He had like James, Ivo, Hugh, Mike, though any red character he pretty much had, and then some, the standard ones, Thomas, Edward, the kind of usual cast of characters. And so he wasn't as into it. And when I was born, I just kind of took all the DVDs and took all the trains. And so I got into trains that way. The way I got into model trains was I went to a Day Out with Thomas event at the Upper Hudson River Railroad or North Creek upstate. And I was like, it was probably like 2011 or something like that, really early. And in the merch tent, there was like a Bachmann Thomas table. And I was like, whoa, what are these? These look like the show. And so I kind of like convinced my parents to buy me the classic Thomas Zany and Clarabelle set, which back then was only $100. So, how times have changed.
Very neat. Very neat.
So that's how I got into model trains. And as time went on, I've collected most of like the classic characters. And as even more time has gone on, I started modeling those Thomas characters in like closer to the show. So that is how I got started with model trains. It was always with the Bachmann Thomas stuff. So that is how I got started. So should I start showing off some of the model trains, or?
Yes, we'd love to see a collection, even though I keep on interrupting you.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So the first train I will be showing off, of course, is everyone's favorite. You know him, you love him. It is Thomas the Tank Engine. So apologies for the lighting. It's just my lamp is a bit weird. So this Thomas was supposed to be a season 3 style Thomas, but the blue came out a bit dark. So he's now like the season 5 Thomas the Tank Engine. He has a nice dark blue coat, but still, is that classic shape. It is a 3D print designed by Noah, the LBSE Thomas, and printed by Mixed Traffic Engine 206, who is also a matte. So it's painted with Rust-Oleum sail blue. Couplers are these little Akira scale, what are they called? Hook and loop couplers. They don't pull too much weight, but they can pull some weight, which isn't bad. The lamp irons, I actually got the idea from Brendan Reese 10. Those are fabric pins cut down to size, and they just came out really good. The face is by Xavier Light and Cole. It's painted in Krylon pewter gray, I think the color is called. And he is still missing the 3D printed roof. So right now the roof is just cardboard. The coal is a Hatton's coal load that I dumped in and threw in. The lining is also from George, who you guys had on last month. He designed the lining of the numbers and he cut that all out. And so he now has the lining, and he's just done it really nice. Whistles brass from Shapeways. And that is Thomas the Tank Engine. And I do plan to be making a season 3 style Thomas. I also am in the midst of making a Strasbourg style Thomas the Tank Engine, but that's currently away with Ed's Trains over in California. But keeping on the theme of different style Thomases in the real world, here's a surprise one. Here's like a railway series / realistic styled Thomas the Tank Engine model. I forget who the 3D shell is by. It might also be LBSE Thomas. But it is again printed by Mixed Traffic Engine. I actually bought it from him at the Edison Train Show. And the chassis is a Midland 1F. So that is how, and this guy's obviously still very much a work in progress, but he does have the blue, and it's actually the same blue that my season 5 Thomas wears. It just has a different undercoat, and so it just came out looking completely different. So the next guy on the list is our dear tram friend, Toby the Tram Engine. This guy, a lot of people have seemed to shown great appreciation for. So I think George showed his off in the last one. The print is from Shapeways, made by Ellsbridge Production, but mine came without a whistle for some reason. So it broke off somewhere in the manufacturing process. So I bought a USA like a USA styled locomotive bell. So it actually does swing back and forth, which I think is really fun. And the thing about the print is that it is fully... Ooh, what happened to my lighting? The print is fully open. So if you look through, you can see straight through it, and that kind of reveals the motor and the face in the background. So what I do is I actually blanked out the cab using polystyrene cut down to size, and I just glued it into place. And so it blanks out everything. It just has this nice solid brown color. And this is how it even looked in the show. He was fully blanked out. The paint was like 4 different paints or something like that, 3 or 4 different paints. It was like Rust-Oleum. It was a Rust-Oleum base, which took a very long time to dry. It didn't even fully dry. And then I painted on top of it with like 2 or 3 different browns. So the wood framing is the original Rust-Oleum brown. And like the planks were like hand painted with different paints to try and like in different heights to try and get like that wood grain kind of effect. And I think it came out pretty good. The gray, I'm going to redo at some point, but right now the gray is Rust-Oleum chalked aged gray, which is the same gray on the face. Still in the process of giving him proper coupling so he can pull coaches around or pull Henrietta around. But other than that, he's pretty much done. And again, the vinyl number came from George. I also still need to put in the windows, but I have those. So I just need to put them in. One detail I almost forgot is that I actually, in one episode in season 4, it was Special Attraction. For some weird reason, in one shot only, Toby's cab is burned. And we don't know why it was burned, but it was burned. So I took a lighter to him. And so you can see the window here has a bit of burn on it. And then I went ahead and filled in some of that paint with like some black paint to spread out the burn effect, because it was kind of like all over the front window for some reason. So he does have like genuine fire damage to him, because I thought it would be funny. And I love the imperfections that some of the model trains have in the show. James, for some reason in season 3, is missing like his funnel cracked off. And so you can see a big wad of black tack to hold the funnel in place. I think it's really funny. I'm going to do that to my James.
I just want to interject and say we don't recommend you do that at home.
No, don't do that. I am, for the sake of the stream, I'm a trained professional. So do not burn your model trains. Now, I know a lot of people are waiting to see this train in particular. So, especially Christian, because he asked me to show off this character in particular. So, without further ado, here is everyone's favorite Terrier locomotive, Stepney the Bluebell engine. Now, this one has been a hot topic on the Bachmann forums for a long, long time. A lot of people want to see this model. And this is the prototype. It's not the prototype. This is this is a custom 3D printed shell. You hear that, Doug? The custom 3D printed shell made entirely by Noah the LBSC Thomas. I did not do a lot to this train. Noah deserves all the credit for this model. He painted it. He designed the shell. He didn't make the chassis. The chassis comes from an old Hornby Dapple chassis. He made the numbering. He made the lettering. He did everything. The only thing I really did to this was add a coupler on the back, give him new faces to match the rest of my engines, and paint the buffer silver. That's really all I did to this engine. So I know a lot of people want to see this train, so here he is. I'll keep him up for a little bit longer just so you guys can really take it all in. I know you guys, this is like the hot topic on all my sets. I always make sure to bring him with me to all my train shows, and he will be a staple of my display for a while.
Matt, I'm just going to cut you off just for a sec. The saliva's building up in my mouth.
Just salivating at the mouth for this.
No, but in all seriousness, Matt, no, just interject. Yeah, I love your Stepney model. Just from the face to the paint scheme and the applied decals, it's just absolutely beautiful. And as you know, he's always been one of my favorite characters. In the show from when I was a little kid. So
it is a fantastic model. Noah did a fantastic job with the paint, the color, everything. All the detail on it is amazing. Doug, if you want references for this, I can send them to you so you can make one.
I hear you, Matt. I'll mention something about that a little later. No announcement or anything like that, but I don't want to interrupt your presentation. But we can come back to that.
Perfect.
And Matt, they're saying it matches your shirt.
It does match my shirt, actually. I completely forgot. So this is like the shirt that I wear to all the events and stuff. This shirt actually is Stepney the Bluebell engine.
Oh, there you go.
Made by it's on Redbubble. I think Luke Ryan made it. Just look up Bluebells Forever on Redbubble. You should be able to get the same kind of shirt. So yes, I am the Stepney man of the USA.
That's funny.
So yes, that is the custom Stepney that everyone absolutely loves to see. So I'm going to put him away for right now, unfortunately. I'm going to move on to someone that, again, was actually specially requested, but his tender is coupled to something. And by saying the word tender, that should give you a clue onto what engine this is. I just need to figure out a way to grab him. Okay, here is the engine that everyone knows and loves. I mean, another one that everyone knows and loves. The fan favorite, Gordon the Big Engine. This is a beast of a model. He's very big. This is the biggest one I'm going to probably show off today. So I'm going to start with the body shell, or with the locomotive itself. So the chassis just comes from a standard Bachmann Gordon with the wheels repainted. The shell, I think you can guess where I got the shell from. The shell is made by the LBSE Thomas. He printed it for me. He sent me all the bits for it. So it's printed in resin. Very high quality engine. The face is by Rexecutions again. It's a very nice, happy face. Looks really, really good. It's also resin printed, so it comes off looking great. The blue, again, is Rust-Oleum sailed blue, again with a white primer underneath, which really changes the feel of the engine compared to the Thomas engine, because as you can see by the two, Thomas is a lot darker because he has a black primer underneath. So whenever you're spray painting your models, because I spray paint all my models, make sure that you choose the right color primer underneath, because it will change the look of your engine drastically. So this is the body shell. The whistle is brass, came from Shapeways. I forget where I got the lamp irons. Noah just sent me a link to them. And the not the lamp irons, the sanctions, that's what it's called. Like little handrail knobs. And it's just craft wire for the actual handrail itself. All the lining on this engine, and there is a lot of it, that is all water slide transfers. So I picked up, I cut the strips to size and I cut them all out. There's a lot of lining on this guy. It took a while to get him done, but I got it done in one day, so I'm not too upset about that. Again, lamp irons are the fabric pins, what are they called? Vacuum pipes, again, 3D printed. So couplers, again, the Akira scale ones. And now we're going to go on to the tender, because the tender also has a little fun story. So here is the tender. I thought the tender was going to be the hard part, but no, the body shell is actually the hard part. So the tender is the standard Bachmann Gordon tender with a few modifications. First of all, the coal load was cut out and the front and back were cut out. And carefully along the back, it was cut to make the shape of the frame. And I replaced it with polystyrene sheets, so I could get a curve in the tender. It took a very long time to sand these sides down flat. I actually did it in school at some point because I was just kind of bored and weren't doing anything. I also added frames underneath the wheels, again using plastic card. And it's not the biggest change, but it is noticeable when you look down. You can see the frames are kind of hidden. And again, Rust-Oleum sail blue. He came out really good. I'm happy with Gordon. He still needs a few final touch-ups, but he is like 95% of the way there. Oh, what just happened? I clicked a button. I didn't click a button. What?
You're still
okay. There we go. Oh, almost knocked out another Thomas. Now onto another character that is one of my personal favorites. I don't know how other people feel about this one, but it is one of my most viewed videos. So this is Lady the Magical Engine. Wow. So she was introduced in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, of course. She is a magical engine that provides the gold dust to the conductors, and I love Thomas and the Magic Railroad. It is one of my favorite movies, from the score to the visuals to everything. It is like my favorite Thomas movie ever. I watched it so much as a kid, and I'm really happy to have a lady model. So the body shell itself is actually a toy. It is an Ertl toy, which for some reason is more in scale with 00 scale or HO scale than it is with the actual rest of the toy range. And so I slapped the body shell on top of a Bachmann Bill chassis, and I just repainted the wheels purple, gave the side rods the gold coloring, and she came out like this. This little figurine is on Shapeways. It is supposed to be Burnett Stone. She has a lamp on the back, again from Shapeways. And she has a little cab detailing also from Shapeways, which is it's supposed to be a backhead for Skarloey, actually, but it kind of fit the size right, so I used it. The face is, again, made by Rexecutions. George printed it and sent it to me and gave me like the good-looking pupils for it. It has like almost like a see-through kind of color to it, and it looks a lot like the eyes that she had in the movie. and I painted it up and made it look like this. And that is one of my favorite engines. I'm currently in the process of motorizing her so she can run under her own power, but right now she does just freewheel. So this is one of my personal favorite models. You will be seeing more of her in the future, but I shan't say more. Now, as we all know, Bachmann last time, or Doug last time, showed off the finished paint sample, or the first paint sample of the Bachmann Ryan. Now, unfortunately, I will not be buying it because I have my own Ryan model. So this is my custom Bachmann Ryan. Now, obviously, the Bachmann one is a lot better than this one because there's more accurate to the show. This one's more accurate to real life, but the Bachmann one, if you want your own Bachmann, if you want your own Ryan model, get the Bachmann one. It looks beautiful. I'm like really on the fence about buying it or not. I know I said I wasn't, but that took a long time to come to that conclusion, and I'm still not 100% sure. But this is my custom Ryan. Again, I did not do anything to this model. I bought this like this. I bought this from Max, Terry 55 Stepney, over in the UK. He was selling it. I don't remember why he was selling it, but I bought it. And it's really nice to have like a Ryan model. I probably will be using it in a few times. The face, someone mentioned the face. The face, I think, is just a wooden railway face. It's a bit small, but I like it. It's an interesting look. So this got a varnish coat before it was sent to me, and then the varnish ruined the paintwork. And so Max did his best to remove as much of the varnish as possible. And it's still a bit visible on the tank there, but otherwise it's fine. I think it looks good. So this is my custom Ryan. Yeah, rip to all the people, but you know what? Bachmann outdid themselves. One of the best models. So that is the 00 engines out of the way. The purple is a nice color, yes. With the engines out of the way, I'm going to move on to some of the rolling stock that I have in place. So up first, I have a lot of things to show off. These are pretty simple. The tar wagons. I know George showed off some of his, I think he showed off like the soda or fuel ones in G scale, but these are his tar things in 00 scale. So he had his own tar trenches. These are the actual Bachmann oil tankers, and then I just put the tar stickers over them with the flat black paint underneath. And it came out with this nice little look. This one, for some reason, I put the lettering on. It's spacey. So I have like a season 1 style and season 3 on style tankers. So really simple change for those ones. Next, oh, I dropped it. Hold on. The next model I'm going to show off goes along with Stepney, which are the season 4 styled red coaches. So these coaches are just the standard Bachmann ones I just painted the roofs white. That's all I did to it. So yeah, pretty simple modification that you can do to your red coaches if you wanted them to look like the classic series. Really simple model. They all look good already. So those are the red coaches. Along with the red coaches, I have this red China clay wagon. I painted up red, unlike it's actually like gray and black in the show, but I painted this one up red to match the season 3 episode Henry's Forest, where they were painted red. And so it's this nice little red China clay wagon. This model would also be really good in the Bachmann range. I think this one would be a really good seller in any color. So just giving you ideas, Doug. So yeah, this is the China clay wagon. It just uses the regular Bachmann wheels, screwed on the Bachmann couplers, and good to go. On Shapeways, really easy find. I think this was also Ellsworth Productions. On to some of the bigger rolling stock that I only have 2 more 00 rolling stock left. The Hornby, or not the Hornby, the season, I guess, 2 styled express coaches. So these are just the standard Hornby Monsell coaches that I painted with Tamiya TS2, I think was the cream, and TS7 was the green. And it just came out with this really nice kind of color. I just put cardboard on the ends to block off all the detailing on the sides, and I painted the roof black. But yeah, these coaches, really easy modifications. They look just like the show. Windows are, plastic cutouts. And I also have a brake coach version. I don't know if it's the right brake coach, but it is a brake coach, so I'm not really too upset about it. Again, same story. Looks pretty good. With the 00 scale stuff out of the way, oops, I put that on Ryan. Let's move on to the narrow gauge stuff, right? I have a big list, big old list. So, another fan favorite, I think it's a fan favorite. This is my custom 009 Sir Handel.
Cool.
Again, another model that Bachmann announced. I made this guy. He took about 2 years to finish. I started him back in 2019, and I finally finished him in like 2020, 2021, something like that. Finally getting the name and number plates for him. Put on a Bachmann Scarloey chassis with the wires put on backwards. So his polarity is reversed. So he runs forward when he should be going backwards, vice versa. But it's fun. I can do a lot of stuff with that. So this guy, Rust-Oleum, I forget the blue. It's like Rust-Oleum. It's not Rust-Oleum. It's Krylon. It's like Gloss True Blue, I think the color is. Faces, again, by Rexecutions. You guessed it. Nameplates by Narrow Planet, and I also have Falcon nameplates for him, so you can be either Sir Handel or Falcon, akin to the original place where he came from. Up next is number 5 of the Scarlet Railway, which is Rusty the Little Diesel. Again, a Shapeways print by T-Doc. Spray painted orange, hand painted the name and number, which took ages and came out okay. Chassis, I think, is like a Kato chassis, something like that. There's one you can just like get somewhere, anywhere. And yeah, he can pull things. He works, you know. He's a pretty simple one. He's pretty much just a box painted orange. He's like a traffic cone. I like him. Another one who goes along with Sir Handel and has always been to all of my shows, who's also still awaiting his nameplates. I just need to put them on. I have them now. Duncan. This guy is, again, 3D print from Shapeways. He's actually sitting on an N-scale Percy chassis, which still needs to be finished being modified to portray him. The fun thing about Duncan was that he was going to be revealed back in 2021 at the November Thomas and His Fan show before I joined. That was going to be my first Thomas and His Fan show, and that was taking place like the weekend after Thanksgiving, which we're doing again, by the way. November 26th and 27th, come out to Edison, New Jersey. We will be doing another Thomas and His Fan show there, and I will be there. So I was trying to finish Duncan for that train show, and for some reason, again, all waterslide transfer lining, while the boiler lining came on pretty nicely with like the black and gold coloring on the boiler, the cab lining did not want to go on. And so the day before the train show, all the cab lining wiped off, and I had to redo both sides the day before the train show. But I got it done. And so Duncan has been like that ever since. I weathered him recently, and he came out looking good. And he's one of the best runners on the Scarlet Railway layout, which will also be in attendance at the Thomas and His Fans show. So if you want to see this guy running around, and Sir Handel and Rusty too, and also John Train Custom stuff, who is probably in the chat somewhere. Where's the chat? It's like somewhere. Chat somewhere. If you want to see our stuff running around on the 009 layout, come by to the Edison Train Show. Speaking of the Edison Train Show, I revealed this guy at the last one, and this is everyone's favorite, good old Graham Puff. This is my custom 009 Duke model, coming from the Pico Kato Prince, or Princess, actually this one was. Painted in Rust-Oleum leather brown, which kind of looks like Duke's preservation color right now, because he is preserved by Thomas Tank Merch. So this is kind of what he looks like right now, apart from obviously like the red side rods and stuff like that. But like the brown, pretty close. The face is ridiculously tiny, and I just want to show you guys the size comparison of the face. So I have a face here, and I have M&Ms. I just want to show you guys how tiny his face is compared to an M&M. So that's the face. Kind of see it there. That is an M&M. His face is quite literally smaller than an M&M. So who cares?
I hope that was the M&M.
I'm sorry?
I said I hope that was the M&M.
It was. But yeah, his face is painted in Rust-Oleum, right? It was Rust-Oleum? Yeah, it's the Rust-Oleum age gray. And hand-painted. All the eyebrows and the eyes and stuff like that. So just imagine how difficult that was. It wasn't actually the difficult. So yeah, that is Duke, one of my favorites again, because he came together so easily. Usually, you know, when you're modeling, your models give you a tough time. You know, they don't want to go together. They don't want to stay together. The paint doesn't go on right. he went together perfectly fine, no fuss whatsoever. I'm really happy that he did. Now, for the Railway Series viewers out there, you might recognize this model as the Mine engine. So this model is, I forget what it's called. It's called like a Decaville model. I just painted up brown. This model is the same kind of one that Audrey used on his Mid-Sodor layout. There's two different types of these engines that he used. There was one that was a spare. I think this one was the spare model, or it was the first model and then became a spare. But it was just a simple repaint of brown because it was just green. And so I just repainted it, took off the cab, which came off exactly how Audrey's did. And so this is probably like the closest Audrey model I have to, real life, because this is just the exact same model that he used. And all I had to do was paint it brown. So super simple model, hard to find, but found it in March at the Edison Terrain Show there. So I have it now. That's fun. And now a surprise reveal from me. As you all know, Bachmann recently released the Peter Sam model. I actually did a review on the Peter Sam model if you guys want to go check out that video and see my opinions on it. And I think that model is fantastic. But I model Classic Series, and of course the Peter Sam is based off of Edward Thomas at the Tycoon Railway. So vaguely, and also based off of the CGI render. So I messaged Noah and I said, hey, you have a Peter Sam shell in regular like gauge 1 scale. Can you scale it down to 009 for me? And he said, yes, I can. And so now I have a started season 4 Peter Sam model. It's designed, it was scaled down to fit on the standard Peter Sam shell, and it fits fantastically. He printed the shell and he modified the chassis just a little bit to make sure that it would all fit right. The only thing he did was like remove like the PCB board. That's all he did. But it looks so good. I need to get new faces because the hole is actually bigger than the original faces that I have for my regular one. But I'm so happy with how this guy's coming out. To me, a part green is the color that I used for him, and it's the same one that I'm pretty sure Noah used on his Peter Sam. And so it just comes out looking this beautiful, like season 4, a bit light, but still really nice green color. And I'm really happy with how this is coming out. You guys will see more of this in the future. He'll probably be finished by the time the November show comes around. He'll probably be all put together by the time the November show comes around. He'll probably be running by the time the November show comes around. And so I can't wait for you guys to see this guy fully finished. He's going to be really fun. So that is my Peter Sam model in the works, but really happy to have him out there. To go along with Peter Sam, I have also been working on 3 coaches and a brake fan for him. Now, these coaches are Railway Series only seen in the Railway Series, but God, they just look so good. So these are Ada, Jane, Mabel, and Cora. So all of these are 3D prints by the LBSE Thomas. They are painted in the same blue that my Gauge 1 Thomas is painted in, which I'll be showing off in a little bit. The hand painted these seats with like what's it called, like Deco Art Brown. I forget what it was. It's like honey brown, something like that. Really nice color. And I have 3 of these prints, and so I just did the process 3 times. And I have Cora the Guards van, who is I think also really only seen in the Railway Series, but she's really fun. She has an open door. I'm still painting the inside, but she does have an interior. And the door does actually open and close, so she will be a lot of fun. I don't know why I'm holding it that close to the edge of the camera. So she'll be a lot of fun to have. I can just, open and close the door. And so I'm really excited to have these guys finished. They're really close to being done. They just need wheels and couplers. So there's going to be a lot of fun with them. And in the last of the narrow gauge stuff, pretty much just simple modified models that you can do to your own coaches. These are, let me get them in my hands, Agnes, Ruth, Jemima, and Lucy, which are just these standard Bachmann like blue coaches with faces on the front. So Thomas Tank Merch owns, I think, like 2 of the coaches, and they posted like reference photos of the coaches along with the fronts. And so I just screenshotted those and I played around with the eyes and the mouths so they can like have different expressions. So Agnes, being first class, is always posh about it. And so she has an angry face on. Ruth has a sad face. Jemima has a happy face. And Lucy also has a happy face looking the other way. And these are all just the same face that they posted, just with the eyes edited either way and the mouse edited. So super fun, simple. And I did the same thing to a Shapeways print for Coach or a Break Fan. So this one's Beatrice. Again, this one's a custom. So again, same face thing. I forget what the blue was, but it's a nice blue and I like it. That is the narrow gauge stuff. I'm going to move on to the buildings for the narrow gauge stuff, which I only have 3 of, and they're still works in progress, but they're really fun. So this is the wooden shed for the, I have all 3 sheds for the Crobin's Gate. So this is the wooden sheds. These were designed by Alex, the famous Sate, who I know was in the chat before. I don't know if he's still in the chat. Hi, Alex. He printed off these for me in 009 scale. And so I'm in the midst of painting them. This is the wooden shed that's on the end.
Nice.
It is very nice. Thank you. He did a really good job. He did a lot of detail on these, especially this one, the engine shed. I still need to paint this into like a brick red color. There is a workshop in the back and also a door here, which is seen in the show. There's this workshop part in the back, which you never see in the show. And there is a door to the workshop, which will be covered up by the roof. So you will never actually see the inside of this, but Alex still went through the trouble of designing all of that stuff in there just to make it like all that extra stuff. And so I put this all together. Still need to paint it, but this is going to be, Alex, I see you in the chat. You're a madman for doing all that detail. I don't know why you did, but you did. So these were originally made for Departing Now scale, which is like a Japanese exclusive toy. And he kindly scaled them down to 009 scale for me. So I'm still in the midst of making these. They will be seen in season 4 of my series, or the second half of season 4, which will be coming up very soon. Last shed that he made is the biggest one, which is actually printed in 2 halves. It is the carriage shed, which is double the length of the engine shed. This is a really big building, and it's pretty much the same on both sides, except that this front has brick and this side has like grating on it, which is really good for sets because this can also hold 2 track lengths worth of standard gauge track, which means that I can put little tank engines in the shed on this end and no one will even notice. And then I can have this side exclusively for the narrow gauge engines. And so versatility at its finest. What was next? I think it was, the next one. I know a lot of people want to see this guy probably. Ever since his last appearance at Edison, a lot of people were really concerned about what was going to happen to this model. I can say he is now on the rise to stardom. This is the Gauge 1 Thomas the Tank Engine model. All again made by Noah the LBSE Thomas. All printed by him. It's also like mostly handmade as well. Like there's a lot of all the parts are like plastic stuff like that, like plastic car, polystyrene, that kind of stuff. The face is a cast of the original face. If I can get it off. So this face is a cast. So they took the actual face and they casted it, and he got a hold of it and he painted it up to look like the show. So this is pretty much a real face used on the show, as close as you can get to a real face. And it currently does not have eyes in right now, so he's wearing sunglasses to keep the creep out. The last time he was seen, the entire front of his running board was broken off. So I went in and re-glued it back together. You can still see like where the glue seam is, where I tried to also repaint it, which didn't go well so far. But I re-glued it. I covered it in like modeling putty, sanded it down, repainted it white. And now Thomas is looking a lot better. He just needs like the buffer beam details and like the side rods, and he's pretty much good to go. Now, I don't think a lot of people know the scaling difference between Gauge 1 and the Bachmann G-scale Thomas. So here is my G-scale Thomas compared to the Gauge 1. And you can see the absolute size difference between these two. The Bachmann one is a lot bigger than the Gauge 1 size, but still a good model that I recommend you guys get. Isaiah made the faces. I think George talked about it last time. And there's also a George Carlin figurine, or Mr. Conductor George Carlin figurine in his cab, which is like Bendham's figure, I think it was called. That is that. I think I'm almost done, actually. Wow. The last things I wanted to show off was, first of all, the bin of faces. When I'm making my videos, of course, all my engines have interchangeable faces. And so this bin, thankfully labeled, has all the faces that I use for all my engines. You can see there's like Thomas in the corner, and it goes like in numbered order. So I bring these sometimes to my train shows. So if you come to the Greenberg train show in November, I probably will have this with me if you want to see all the different faces that I use in my videos. Yeah, there's a lot of faces in there. I'm actually going to change them out for a new bin. Next up, still keeping with the faces and keeping with the Magical Railroad theme that I was talking about with Lady, here is the two Diesel 10 faces that I have right now at the minute. I do have another one waiting to be printed, but these ones are all done. So these are Diesel 10's faces. They have this angry and happy face. They are designed by Thomas Modeler Fan 1, I think it was, or Thomas Modeler 1, something like that. Hand painted the eyebrows and mouth. And the eyes are like little BB pellets with vinyl stickers for the pupils that George cuts. I didn't mention that before, but that's how I do my faces. So 3D print them, paint them gray, and then give them the eyes and the mouths and eyebrows and all that stuff. And that is it for the main model display collection. The last thing I'm going to show you guys is a little thing that you guys probably know me for, which is the videos on YouTube, the Tales of the NWR. I've been doing the series now for like 4 or 5 years, and season 4 is the end. But I did a lot of upgrading in season 4. I got a new sky, I got new lights, I got new models, and I got all that fun stuff to make the sets look beautiful and fantastic. And so I'm going to show you guys one of the simple sets that is displayed behind me right now. Thomas, are you doing okay? He is doing okay. We watched his face before. But this is how I build my sets for my series. Now, I obviously don't do them in my room because it's too small, but yeah, you guys can see that. That is how I do my sets. So it is grass mats with the Bachmann easy scale, not easy scale, what's it called? Easy track with the regular Bachmann Thomas models with the modified faces. This sky is actually just a trifold board that don't worry about that. This guy is just a trifold board that I put a little sky background on, and I think it came out really, really good. It's just held on with some like little clamps. You can see the clamp right here and right over there. There are 4 clamps total that came from a green screen set, and I just used them to clamp the sky onto the background, the border. And that's how I build my sets. I have 2 big studio lights that sit over top of the set. I don't do it in my room because my room is obviously very small, so I can't fit the whole thing. It's actually shrunken down right now. So I do it in like the living room. I do all my filming in the living room. So that's how I build my sets. It can take like 2 days to make the full video just because I usually set aside the first day for all the major sets when I'm making my videos. And then the second day is for all of the in-between shots where like the trains are just passing by the camera and you have all those fun little locations. And so I have a bunch of different shots for all that stuff. I have a bunch of different locations set up for all that stuff. And if you want to see more of those sets, again, come down to the Greenberg Train Show. I have a binder that you guys can flip through for free. There's no reason to pay for it once you're in the show. You can flip through the binder and see like 10 different sets along with the canceled script that I made because I have like 2 whole seasons worth of unused scripts. So I think that is the end of my presentation. Thank you all for looking at my models. The response looks like it has been very nice. Thank you. And yeah, I'll give it back to Ken and Christian.
Give it up for Matt in the chat here, and do a hashtag Let's Go Matt. And this way we appreciate him being on and showing his amazing collection. Christian, what you think?
As always, Ken, I'm blown away. And like I said, Matt is absolutely no exception. I mean, his Gauge 1 Thomas, I liked his rainbow sunglasses he had on there. That was a nice, unique touch, Matt.
Those were made by Annie C., who I know is in the chat. She's like one of my best friends. Hi, Annie. I know you're in there somewhere. She made them because it was very creepy without the eyes. I'll be honest.
But as you know, Matt, I think your Stephanie model, that's the one that like I could just look at all day with saliva building up in my mouth and just never, ever like get my mind off of it. Like it's just that good.
Thank you. It's a good model.
And we got to tell Doug that they're going to need to make those sunglasses accessories for Bachmann. You never know. It could be like that, the Christmas snowplow, or some add-on accessory like the sunglasses. You could just add it right on.
Well, a little bit of trivia here. that most people won't know, but Bachmann has been around for a long time. Our roots go back to 1833. And for a period of several decades, we were actually the #1 novelty sunglass manufacturer in the U.S.
Wow, look at that.
So,
I did a research project, and I remember I did it on Bachmann, and I was like, really? Sunglasses? That's how you guys started out? It's really interesting how far you guys have come.
Sunglasses, safety glasses, absolutely.
That's
so
amazing.
there's probably something in the files somewhere that we could go off of. But
wow.
Seriously, I'd like to add my compliments as well to Matt. Your collection is just amazing, and the range, the timeline that you cover in interest is just is fantastic. The breadth of the collection is wonderful, and although there's many great details, your spray painting work is exceptional.
Thank you, Doug. That means a lot coming from you.
So anyway, thanks for sharing everything, and I hope you have a great show in Edison.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And as Jacob would say, before Ray-Ban, there was Bachmann.
That's right.
That's a great fact. I didn't know that. And so Christian, he's got a lot of nice stuff. I don't know. You got some competition, Christian.
No, definitely. But for everyone, we've got lots and lots of NMRA stuff to go through, don't we, Ken?
Yes. And this was a nice intro for the show, and Matt did a great job with his presentation. Tons of great product. But Doug and Bachmann, I don't know what happened, but they just went Bachmann Thomas crazy. They just wanted to spread the product, and tons of new announcements. It's amazing. Christian texted me. He was like, "Did you see what happened?" He's like, I told him, Christian, I didn't get anything yet. He's like, you know more than me now. But we got things up and going, and Doug, wow, lots of good stuff.
Well, we gotta keep the fandom happy, right?
That's it. So without further ado, I guess, do you want me to share the PDF, or?
I think that's the best way.
Okay. All right. So let's get it up here. All right.
There we go. Yeah. So are we talking Thomas only or the whole thing?
Well, I just wanted to show the front cover. So basically, Doug, can you explain the new announcement packet, what exactly Bachmann did, just in case certain people may be into actual trains or different trains?
Yeah, surely. Just in general, this is a mid-year release. We always do this around the NMRA show. That's the National Model Railroad Association. The show was in St. Louis this year, and so this brochure, I think it's a 16-page brochure, lots of new product introductions in all different scales, all of our scales. And, on the front cover there was an announcement for the Acela 2, which is a big deal for us.
Yeah.
And that, the Acela 2 will be coming into full service soon. So we've had the original Acela for many years in our line, and wanted to bring this on as well for modern Amtrak service. So we'll have the locomotive and the passenger cars. We'll make a full train set. It'll take us some time to do it, but we're definitely excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be beautiful. It's a really cool looking engine.
Absolutely. Very, very sleek lines, of course. And the passenger cars, I think in total, it's a 9-car set with the locomotives on each end and the individual passenger cars.
Wow.
Yeah, it reminds me of those Japanese bullet trains, the Shinkansens. If you're familiar with those, yeah. I had the opportunity to ride on that twice when I went to go visit my relatives on my mother's side of the family there.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Awesome. So how fast were you going, do you think?
Oh, I forget, because I was a lot younger, but it just felt like I wasn't moving. It just felt like it was going so fast, and we zoomed past Mount Fuji. It was just a wonderful view, nice clear day too. That I remember very, very clearly. So
What a great experience.
Definitely.
So you definitely announced a ton of product, HO, N scale, G scale. The train sim actually seems pretty interesting. A lot of people excited about that.
Yeah, that was a special paint scheme for that locomotive. And so we had to, have a separate licensing deal with the train sim folks, and they were just great to work with, and we're excited to bring that out as well. So yeah, I don't think we'll talk about every product here, but as I said, we announced products in HO, also ON30. I think there's a large scale, and also our three rail Williams line. For anyone who wants to see the full brochure, there's a link that's available on our website if you go to bachmanntrains.com, and you can just download the brochure or view it online. So there, right there, easily done. So all the information is there, and let's go on to some Thomas, I think. So at the bottom of the left-hand page there is, this is, although not Thomas specifically, these are prototypical paint schemes of the of what was originally the originally in our line anyway, the Skarloey locomotive. And we will be bringing out new paint schemes for that basic chassis. And with instead of a face, there will be a new smoke box cover, smoke box door. And we've chosen 3 paint schemes to cover different eras for the life of the locomotive, which is called the Teleflin. That's the actual name of the locomotive at the Teleflin Railroad, or railway, I should say. And as you know, that's most closely associated with Reverend Audrey. So we're excited to bring those out. Those have gotten some good interest already.
Yeah.
And,
Twitter blew up.
What's that?
Twitter blew up.
Twitter blew up.
I don't know which one to get. I don't know if I want all 3.
Case, just get all 3. Problem solved.
There you go.
Easily done.
Now, Christian, why is this important, I guess, for a classic Thomas modeler?
Well, I mean, you look back at Skarloey there, who was, the classic narrow gauge engine. When everyone sees the Teleflin or Teleflin locomotive, they immediately think of Skarloey. And historically there, looking back at the Teleflin Railway, those 3 liveries were shown too. And I do think Audrey made reference to the railway in real life oftentimes when, looking into the history of the railway series. So there's just always that real life connection to the railways in Wales and just the UK in general, between Thomas and that. So I just think that dimension is always something that's very fascinating for all fans, young and old. So
that's great.
So for the narrow gauge railroaders, we think it'll do well. And as Christian said, Twitter blew up, so that's a good sign.
and just so you guys know, this is HON30 scale, so it's narrow gauge, but it runs on N scale track. So if you have N scale track, it will run on it. I know sometimes it gets a little confusing, but with the different scales, but N scale track it will run on for if anyone has a layout of unscaled track. But really neat and nice, and I know they're going to be a home run for sure.
Definitely.
All right, so moving on here. The first locomotive we have there is Bo, excuse me, which some may have thought was coming from left field, which it is a little bit, but we already make a 440 locomotive in our standard line, so it was not that much of a reach to make some minor modifications, add the bow face, and bring it out. It's gonna be a more expensive locomotive because it has to fit in with our existing 440 line, but why not, just for fun?
Yeah.
And
just a real quick story. Sorry, not to drag this out.
No,
but,
go ahead. Go ahead.
We used to have my father and I used to have the Jupiter locomotive, which I believe was the same class from the Bachmann line. And Oh man, tragic story. I think my father was running the engine. All of a sudden, he had to run upstairs because I think a relative was calling him on the phone or something, and he left the power on, and the engine stalled. And for some reason, he forgot that he left the power on. Well, the motor, not only did the motor burn out, but the whole thing just like the whole body shell just melted on itself, and it was tragic. And just to this day, we never got a new 440. So now this is the chance, especially for the Thomas character. So you got me looking at this.
Christian, you're directing the next purchase for your dad, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And Doug, I feel like this is a story of how far the Thomas line has grown. Because I feel like in the past when Bachmann Thomas first started, something like this may have been a reach, but now people are okay with the different characters, and even though it's not a Thomas or a Percy, the Thomas fandom has just grown so much, especially with Thomas and their announcements of products that a engine like this will probably do extremely well, if not sell out immediately.
Well, I would say that I would not, and I don't want to reach too far on this, but I would say I don't think we're going to make a lot of these. So I would get your orders in with Train World, and because it may not be around too long. And I may be wrong on that, but I think this might be a more limited offer than what we would usually do.
All right, time to pre-order.
Just be aware.
So you heard it first from Doug. Get your pre-orders in.
Now I have to. I don't have a choice anymore.
All right, and so the next locomotive there, obviously right next to Bo, is Rebecca. And so Rebecca has been a top request for a long time. It's been a long time since we've done a new tender engine. And we just felt, you know what, it's time we get to it. And so we're happy to bring out Rebecca. It's also a female character, which brings some extra interest too. So we're happy to do that. And I want to use this opportunity, and with apologies to the fandom, I got to talk about Stepney for a little while. And so I know we've had a lot of requests for Stepney. We're certainly aware of it, but you have to understand, like, when we have to make a decision what locomotive to bring out and what to commit to for tooling, Stepney has been not in the series for so long that by choosing a character like Rebecca, that will be of interest to all the current fans as well. Like, current fans who are just getting into Thomas don't know about Stepney. So we have to choose how many models we can make and how much we can commit to tooling. So for us, although I would love to do Stepney, and I understand it's, for in the interest of being a complete collection, it would be perfect. But for new fans and old fans, Rebecca just makes more sense for us in terms of choosing projects. So I hate to quash any hopes for Stepney, but those are the kind of things that we have to think about when we're making these kind of business decisions, and also hopefully satisfying the fandom as well. So anyway, hope you're happy with the introduction of Rebecca. And then underneath that, we have the two box fans, which are the same paint schemes as we recently did in large scale. They were very well received in large scale, and we think they will be in HO as well. And then the next one is the narrow gauge gondola. So that will be all new tooling. And, the HO narrow gauge line is doing very well for everyone. And we need more variety in terms of wagons and rolling stock. And it was just, I think, a nice addition. So that'll be, look for that in 2023 as well.
It's awesome. Yeah, can never have too much narrow gauge rolling stock.
Sounds good.
I need like 10 of those Mr. Jolly wagons.
Sounds good. We like that too. And we know they come in a couple different colors. So maybe in the future we'll try and do some different colors. anyway, all right. So then we're on to N scale. So again, same thought process. Get some larger locomotives in there. Another tender engine. So Gordon is a big announcement in N scale in every sense of the word. So and that's also that's our number one request in N scale. And so and then we're adding in Toad for a new piece of rolling stock. So I think that'll go well.
Yeah, no, before we move on, sorry, just the fact we're getting Gordon at that scale, as a matter of fact, I'm going to pick up my Joe Gordon. Matt has his. But I cannot wait, Doug, to see this side rod configuration at that scale. That's going to be incredible.
That's going to be really interesting.
It's kind of a monster project for N scale.
Yeah. Just really taking it to the next level, you know?
Boy, oh boy, does it open up doors.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we like to do that. So we like the way you think there. So, and then I wanted to show two other things. And one, I'm sorry. So yeah, just on the last page there, I might as well mention it since you have it on there. On the new Easy Command station will be out this year or in 2023, and that's a DCC controller, and we have a existing DCC controller in the line, but this is an update to the original, and it'll allow you to control 27 up to 29 decoder functions depending on the locomotive, which is I think on our current command station it's only 9. So anyway, we're up to 29, and lots of bells and whistles on it. It's got an individual locomotive stop, or it's got an all-track stop feature, and on-track programming as usual. And I think if you're into DCC or have our Easy Command system to begin with, that'll be a nice upgrade. All right, back to Thomas. So I'm going to show you one now. This one, it's not even announced or anywhere published. And this is a new piece of rolling stock. It's just a paint change, a paint addition. It's not a big deal, but I just wanted to show it anyway. This is a production sample already for a Slate wagon with a new road number on it. This is number 178. Mm-hmm. So this is already in our line under 2 different road numbers and a painted unlettered version. So that's number 178. I'll try and get it out of the package here in a reasonable amount of time and just show you the painting for the 178. Of course, I already dumped the slate loads all over the place. All right. See if we can get it to focus. Oh boy. Somewhere in there is in focus, I think.
Very neat.
And then there's the separate slate loads that go in there as well. You can put them in 2 different directions for load variety. So that's loaded the same way. And then you can also load it opposite for a little bit different look.
Very neat.
Sorry for the focus on there. There we go. Somewhere in there. I think that's good. And then lastly,
the big reveal.
The big reveal, which I know we've already promoted, is our first painted sample of N-scale Toby. So no burn marks on this one. It's all pristine. Everything's pristine.
Darn.
So here we go.
Ooh.
That is nice.
There's Toby. We have there's a little glitch on the bell. We gotta work on the way the painting is done on the bell, but it's still looking good.
No burn marks still.
No burn marks.
No, none of that stuff for this guy.
Looking clean. Don't let me touch him.
Yeah. Can we see the face and the number close up?
Sure. Let's see if that's focused. Yeah, no. Somewhere in there.
Very cool.
And then back to the face.
Nice.
And Christian, this is the first time for a Toby reveal, right?
That's right. The
Wow.
painted sample, the painted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were tons and tons of likes. Yeah, well over 100, Ken, on Twitter. Even though I posted
Wow.
just this morning.
Wow.
So,
Right. This just came into the office. I just got it today.
oh wow.
So timing was good.
Beautiful.
Nice.
It's a little chocolate bar.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's like a little chocolate bar,
Yeah.
little Hershey
It
piece.
goes with the M&Ms.
Matt, you got to be careful. You're gonna have some people eating these models now. They're bite size.
That's right. That's right. Very
So
cool.
that's our reveal for the evening. Whoops, there we go.
That's awesome, Doug.
Thank you so much. So that'll be out. Should be by the end of the year.
Now, Ken, we want Twitter to blow up again, right? With retweets.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do? I was thinking the same thing, Christian. So we're gonna raffle off a Peter Sam who has a slight smudge. So it's a Peter Sam that has a slight smudge, but he runs beautifully. He's a gorgeous engine. So everybody's going crazy over Peter Sam. So we're gonna raffle him off, but we want you to take a screenshot and put it in Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere, and hashtag Toby reveal. Doug, put up Toby. So do hashtag Toby reveal. Take a screenshot of us, put it out there in the Twitter universe, and then put in the chat that you did it. Hashtag Toby reveal, and put in where you're from, what state you're from, or country. I saw some international people before. So if you could do that, Christian will try to dig through and pick out a winner tomorrow, or sometime this week when he has a chance. I don't want to put him on the spot and give him too much pressure, but he always does pick out a winner. So hashtag Toby reveal, and we'll get this going viral. But we'll do a raffle for this Peter Sam with a slight smudge.
Now that's not Smudger, right? That is Peter Sam.
Yes, that is
Okay,
Peter
just checking
Sam,
to be
not
sure.
Smudger. But very cool, and thank you, Doug, for always keeping us in mind and the Thomas fandom abreast of all these great Thomas updates.
Always a pleasure, and it's always great to see what the other guests have to show. The talent is always amazing, and thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
And before we kick it off, please keep on going in the chat and do that screenshot for the raffle. We'll keep it going a little more. I just want to show Christian has been doing a couple of new videos, and just wanted to get to it if I could. You got James the N scale engine, and he did a nice little video on this. So you did a great video, always excellent. And we actually do have these in stock. They're the N-Scale James Red engine. You can see it on Christian's layout.
Looking good, Christian.
Thanks.
This has to be the best song. So we got that, and he also did Percy in G scale. Christian is going with all different scales now. He just can't control himself.
Endless summer for a garden railroad. I love it.
That's right.
That's a new piece of greenery for the garden. Looks great.
Yeah.
So Christian's been working diligently and getting all these Thomas product reviews, so you could actually see the product before you make that purchase, because we know things, sometimes you want to see it before you buy it, which makes sense. So Christian has been doing a great job. Doug's gonna have to come out with more product, because Christian has just about reviewed every single Thomas product that you got. But
you guys are killing me.
He's still going though. He's still going, and we got.
Don't worry, Ken. There's still a handful you gotta do.
That's good. And he's actually we just reloaded him this past weekend, and we're going to be doing a series with the starter sets and how to get into the hobby for those people out there who don't have a Thomas starter set yet. And Bachmann, they have so many great starter sets, and they're really known to help get people into the hobby as well as their great products. So we're going to try to do a starter series for that. And Christian is a great person, because he got started with the Bachmann starter sets and the Thomas starter set stuff. So it will be a nice series, and he's going to be doing some great videos. And again, on the new stuff, we are taking pre-orders. There were only a couple that have pricing so far. I think the Tally Flynn, Christian, if you could remind me if I'm mistaken, G Scale, there was 2 products, I believe.
That's right, yeah. So Toby's museum coaches and G Scale, which I believe we forgot to talk about before when going through the brochure, but those have prices. They're on the website. N Scale Toad is also right there. He's got a price.
Here we go.
And then the 3 Tally Flynn or Tally Klin paint variants. Those are also on the site.
Yes, we're going to have to, actually, it's a good thing you remind me. We got to add that to the Thomas section as well. So we are taking pre-orders. So if you're looking to reserve that product, get your pre-order in now at trainworld.com. We carry all the Thomas and Friends product. Doug must not be sleeping over there, because we have over 150 Thomas and Friends product at trainworld.com. So he keeps on going. It's amazing, Christian.
Absolutely. And it's
more than I thought.
We even forgot to talk about 2 of them tonight. So next show we'll talk about some large scale rolling stock.
Great.
That's awesome. And Doug, when you weren't in on the show to start, I will let you know that everybody was distraught without you, and they were like, "Where's Doug? Where's Doug?" So, Christian and I and Matt, we're out. It's all about Doug now.
Yeah. Oh, come on now. Sorry, I do apologize for being a little late.
Yeah,
and
we've got to bring back the "We Love Doug" hashtag.
Yeah,
Christian.
I think I saw some when he wasn't there.
That's it.
Again.
Very good.
One quick question for Christian, if I could.
Question for Christian.
How's the viral video of the tender, of James's tender? What are we up to now?
Oh my God!
Ken, you got to look this up on an Instagram. It's got like 1.7 million.
Wow.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Awesome.
And I'm going to say it again, Ken. I was just taking a break from filming there, and I thought to myself, you know what? Let me just test this out, see if it could go all the way down. And so I did it, sent it to you, and somehow that thing went viral, and it took no effort whatsoever.
Yeah, Christian, we're going to need some more of those. You're at 1.7 million views. You got 42,000 hearts and 128 comments on it. So if you haven't seen it on our Instagram page, it's Christian just rolling down the James N Scale tender, and 1.7 million views. It went viral.
Amazing.
Just really crazy. And so I think for now on, Christian's got to run that and do some more skits like that. So
well, hey, we've got Ken, we've got N scale Emily. I can do her tender. We've got now
Yeah.
N scale Gordon. I'll do his tender. And maybe even some of the rolling stock like N scale Scruffy. He's on the way too, I think.
I think people just like to see it go down the hill.
All going down
You never know. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And right next to it, these are the Bachmann SC44 chargers and the Bachmann ALC42 chargers. So we're doing some great things with Bachmann. They're really great partners with us, so we really appreciate them and the great product that they support the dealers with. And so we want to thank Bachmann and thanks Doug for always participating in these shows. So if you did one of those screenshots, make sure you tweet it out there and we'll try to retweet you back. Tag Bachmann, tag Train World, and I'm sure Bachmann's communication manager, Matt, will also try to retweet you. I'll add more work to Matt. He'll probably shoot me a text tomorrow, but it's all in good fun, and we'll reshare some of the Thomas fandom, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this show has been excellent, and I want to thank everyone out there. We really appreciate it. Doug, Matt, this has been excellent. Christian, I can't thank you enough. And seriously, this Thomas show could not be as big as it is today without Christian. And I really believe in that. Christian is really a Thomas Trainiac at heart. He eats, sleeps, drinks it. Even if it's N scale, he takes those bite-sized bites, but he really truly enjoys the hobby. And even though he does it part-time, it's not his full-time, he treats it like, just pure dedication. And Christian, you're doing a great job, and I really appreciate you and what you're doing for the hobby. So kudos to Christian out there, and thank you so much for what you do, Christian.
Thank you, Ken. I'm always happy to do it.
You got it. And
I certainly concur, and thanks to all the fans who watch as well. It's a great group of people, and happy to be here to be with you gentlemen and all the fandom.
Yes, well said, Doug. Thank you, everyone out there, because even though Christian helps put everything together, it's nothing without you guys watching, and we really appreciate you joining us and always making these shows active, lively, retweeting on Twitter, making things go viral. We couldn't do it without you, so we really appreciate it. And Matt, thank you for tonight. And again, all your Bachmann Thomas products, get them at trainworld.com. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Thanks and so long.